how close do you think you are to a complete game?
Yeah, we're getting closer. There's definitely some areas we still need to improve in. We highlighted for our offense the red zone. We got to score touchdowns when we get down there. And really short yardage. We got to be better in those situations there. We had a chance on 4th and 1 and went back to 4th and 6. Those are two areas. And then taking care of the football. That's in one area we said, where have we improved over the last 4 or 5 games? We've improved a lot in a lot of areas. Where we haven't is in the turnover margin. So we have to be diligent taking care of the football.
How fine a line is that with Drake as a rookie, wanting him to go up and take some risk, but not turn the ball over?
Really the game determines how much risk you have as each time you drop back. If you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, you got to be a little more risk adverse and force some balls. But trading him and trying to continue his development, we want to take care of the football. If we can, get out of the season on a full year with under, say, 10 interceptions, maybe 2 or 3 of those are tip balls that are just freaky ones that we feel pretty good. So never really want to encourage it. Always coaching our players to take care of the ball.
I know teams qualify drops differently. What people say, how do you guys specify whether it was a drop pass, if it was a drop or if it was a break or something?
Yeah, we rate them as competitive plays. If the DB's there, oftentimes, if he's there as a bang player, he gets a hand on the ball, it's a PBU. If there's a clear open receiver that drops the ball, we consider that a drop. So more about the contested portion of that. So it's very obvious if it's a drop, and if it's good defensive play, then hats off to them.
Alex, how did you view the interception to end the game? Drake was talking yesterday about sort of sometimes wanting to see it more spatially than like this is the play called, and is that sort of maybe what happened there, that he thought maybe he should throttle down a little bit?
Yeah, no, we were trying to put stress on the safety, the half-field safety there, so we had Pop running down the middle, and I think Booty up on the outside on the conversion. So that's a 2-on-1 ball on the safety. It's something we had talked about, just weren't on the same page with Pop as far as when that ball was going to come up. I think the read was right. I think Pop looks a little bit earlier. He gets his head back and catches the ball. So, again, just growing pains of a young offense and young players. We just need to continue to coach off of our mistakes and not make them again. But the ball went to the right spot. I just think we weren't on the same page.
And speaking of how Drake said he sees the field, is that how you coach it, for him to more try to attack voids in space rather than everybody just sticking to the route as it is on the page? And how do you balance that?
Yeah, it's a fine line. Defense determines where you go with the ball often. And if your spacing's correct in zone defense, you should stress out their zone players. And that's kind of what we were trying to get done on that play. It was just a missed opportunity. We had a chance there for a completion down the field to keep us in it. And, again, that's something that we coach off of and expect moving forward. When that play comes up again, we'll know exactly what to do this time.
Alex, go ahead, Mike.
To you and that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nice job.
Thanks. I was just looking at the stats for play action, and it seems like you guys, I think, ranked 30th on the year for use of play action. Not saying good or bad, just curious what's the thinking behind that.
We got to run the ball better. That was kind of the thought process there. Our drop back pass game's come a long way, so feel really comfortable there. It's where do you spend the time? We spent a lot of time in the drop back game, and it's we're benefiting from that. So definitely still part of our game. 10, 12 of those are on the call sheet each week. Try to get as many as we can called. Sometimes the game dictates that you can't, use your run action, play action as much, but it's definitely part of our offense.
How would you describe what you have observed from Drake's leadership style, just from when he first came in April to where we are?
Yeah, I think he's starting to get a little more comfortable with the guys now. More talkative in meetings, and it's something we've kind of encouraged as well, for those guys to spend time together. So at the end of a day, like yesterday, for example, coaches will leave the room and quarterbacks and the skilled guys will stay, and they'll watch 7-on-7 and 1-on-1 together. So always trying to encourage that leadership from him. Again, a couple of weeks back, he addressed the offense, which I thought was a big step for him. And he'll continue to grow as a leader. He's a genuine leader. He cares about the guys, and I think they'll respond when he says something.
Alex, aside from obviously helping the offense, what was the impetus for putting Marcus Jones in the game plan last week? And is that something you hope to build on moving forward?
Because he called and asked. That's seriously, he did. I got a text from Marcus Jones, and I'm going back in my mind like, Marcus would just come and talk to me in the building, I would think. So I was Googling Marcus Jones's, and there was a guy that came through Green Bay for a cup of coffee. I'm like, why would he be texting me? And then one of our coaches came and said, Marcus is trying to get a hold of you. So watched 19 plays of his that he's done here as an offensive player. He obviously brings a lot of juice, tremendous ball carrier. speed, his ability to see the field. So, try to find some plays just to get our guys in the best position to make plays, and felt like he would give us a little spark there. We'll see how it goes moving forward.
Two quick things on that. When did he text you? And then what did you do next once you realized it was Marcus
I grabbed him at practice. Yeah, he texted me late in the week before, and it was too late to get anything into that game plan. So I grabbed him late in that week and said we'd have some stuff up for you next week. But I always want guys that are self-starters and want to be a part of it. So I was really appreciative for him to, offer his duties up to us on the offensive side.
Does anyone ever volunteer their services? You say no. Thanks.
Yeah, there's a lot of those guys. Yeah, there's a lot of those guys, those defensive guys. But that he obviously has a special skill set, and his return game is as good as there is. So as many times as we can, use him to put the ball in his hands, or maybe use him as a decoy. We'll see. But he does bring some value and some benefit after last week's game. I'm really excited about maybe moving forward with him.
Alex, a little bit about the Darian Lowe play, and that resulted in a touchdown, and what it was like to see him kind of have that moment.
It was great. Those offensive linemen, they loved it. The celebration was it was okay. I thought they'd be something more choreographed. But it's a play that's been around for a while. Evan brought it up on a meeting. Says the perfect defense for this. So we put it in, practiced it. We refer to I won't get into that. We refer to a lot of our trick plays as vegetables and fruits. So that was a good one. It had a T in it. I'll let you guys figure it out from there for the tackle eligible play. But we go into the game with a lot of the city playing the muscle, and then it's kind of a little deceptive thing where actually Vidarian reports and they just assume it's city, and then you can take advantage of it. But good scheme, and I'm glad he caught it.
And do we have any pickups there in the week?
We only award the trucks out when we win. But it rivaled the week before. We were about 10 short. But the guys are definitely playing the right way. It shows up all over the tape. There were multiple guys on the sideline. I think David Andrews had 3 pickups on the day off of the sideline. 2 with the sling, 1 without the sling in the second half. So the guys are definitely bought in. They're playing for each other, and that's a big piece of building this.
Alex, Antonio and Ramondre are 2 guys who had a lot of production in the passing game. How did they compare at this point in the season with your expectations going in? You want to get more out of the backs in the passing game?
Yeah, definitely. They bring the value there in the pass game. They're both tremendous route runners. Really good hands on both those guys. So there's definitely some ways that we can incorporate them more in the pass game. But they definitely can bring some value, whether you put them in at the same time, you split them out and let them run routes out as a outside wide receiver versus linebackers. There's value there.
Alex, with Cole Strange, are you guys having him focus on one position for now, moving him around a little bit? How do you view him as he comes back?
Really just see where he plugs into those inside 3 spots, where he's most comfortable. Obviously, he played a lot of guard. I believe they had maybe circled him as a potential center. When they brought him in, I see center qualities in him, body type. We'll just see where he's at. Glad to have him back out there. I know he's worked hard to get back. The next few weeks, we'll kind of determine where he goes.
Alex, I'm just curious if there was a reason why you hadn't considered Marcus before, or maybe you did and just, didn't think the timing was right.
No, that was the first it had come to my attention, and that he had played offensive plays, and I'm glad that he did it. Yeah.
Alex, offensive rookie class, which is basically the whole class.
Right.
One guy. How would you sort of sum up their development at this point?
All going to be good players, I believe, for us. They're all going to be contributors here for the Patriots. At different points of their development and progression right now. But I do feel that all those guys that we brought in that class are going to be able to help us in the future for sure. Drake obviously is the guy that stands up now. Polk's playing as much as the other rookies. Caden's going to get back here soon after the injury. Layden, we're just keep bringing him along and plugging him in, and then Baker will make plays for us down the stretches once he becomes, more familiar with the whole system. But that's a group of talented guys. We were excited about him when we drafted him and are now. And Bell, I forgot about Bell. Yeah, Bell's guy that's going to help us. So really high on that rookie class. He's got to keep getting better each week. Talking about Bell, here's a guy that came in and just worked his way up into special team spots, and he's doing it the right way, working his butt off.
When someone's struggling, do you believe in playing them through the struggles, or do sometimes those guys need like a mental break or whatever? And how do you approach that?
It is a fine line. Obviously, you want to keep those guys out there to continue their development. Sometimes they need a break. Sometimes a game to take a break, kind of reset and get refocused. gives those guys a chance. But at this point now, we got to roll. We're not rookies as much anymore, so we expect more out of these guys.
What did you think about seeing Ramondre kind of call Kendrick Bourne's touchdown there? That video the Patriots posted of him in the backfield.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was something we had practiced all week. And there's another guy, KB. We talked about. He had a rough game a few weeks back and didn't get as many snaps. But really, is a guy that we're going to count on to be a bell cow for us out there at the receiver spot. But guys, we're having fun. That was one of our better drives of the year. I thought we went down the field in 7 plays and mixed in a lot of different concepts and schemes and ended up in the end zone. That's what it should look like. Okay, thanks, guys.